Hello, I'm just going to give a quick guide on how to set up your LiveSplit timer for speedrunning Dewdrop Dynasty. And if you go into the leaderboard, as of now, there are 4 categories. There might even be more in the future, but I'm going to show you how to set up your timer specifically for any percent, which is one of the most popular categories. Chat percent is just as popular, strangely enough, but this should generally apply to all the categories, but I'm going to specifically show you how I set up my splits for any percent. So 2 things you're going to need. You're going to need to download LiveSplit if you don't have it already. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do that. I'm not going to tell you how to do it. You can just look it up. What you can look up though is how to get the Autosplitter, which is why you're watching this video right now. So on the speedrunning page officially for Dewdrop Dynasty, I'm going to link this in the description. So just scroll down there and then click on the link to this page. You're going to want to download the Autosplitter. And right now it's version 0.9, but if it says anything else, like, version 1.0, 1.1, if it's an updated version, download it. It should be whatever the most recent one is here. So I've already downloaded this, but make sure you download this. This is the Autosplitter file. Maybe in the future we'll have it on the built into LiveSplit, if I have to submit it, it's a whole process. But as of now, this is the video on how to do it. So once you got the Autosplitting file downloaded off the speedrun page and you have LiveSplit downloaded, now we have to go into the setup. So what we're going to do is we're going to see your timer. It should look something like this. You're going to right click on it, and the first thing you're going to go is all the way down to edit layout. So when you go to edit layout, you're going to click on that, and we're going to need 4 things. So the 4 things here are going to be basically the bare minimum for speedrunning. You're going to need 2 timers, and you can just click the plus button and then select timer, add another one, and then click the plus again, go to list, and then add in splits. And right here, the most important one, click on the plus again, go down to control, and add scriptable auto splitter. This is the most important one. So afterwards, once you have these 4 things, just make sure you have your timer, another timer, splits, and then scriptable auto splitter. You're going to go to layout settings. You're going to click on timer, and you're going to want a real-time timer, which right here you can see it says real time, and you're going to want a game time timer. So I'm going to set this timer to say game time. And this will be our load remove timer. And then this timer is going to say real time. So we just want these different. So once again, one timer that says game time under timing method, and another that says real time. Then you're going to want to go to your splits. And right here where it says total splits, I recommend having around 15. That's a good metric for any percent. It's a long run. And then you want to scroll all the way down to the column section. And personally, I would just copy. I wouldn't mess around too much with this. I would copy what I have right here. So this is plus and minus, delta, personal best, and game time. This one's going to say split time, current comparison should be personal best, and then timing method, game time. The most important thing here is to make sure the timing method says game time all around, and that should be your setup for that. And lastly, we're going to go to scriptable auto splitter. So right here, you're going to click on browse, and then it's going to open up your files, and you're going to want to select the Dewdrop Dynasty auto splitter. So I'm just going to copy in the path here. And that should be good. And once you do that, you should see a window that looks like this pop up. So I'm just going to click yep. And then we're going to want to go back to edit layout. And you're going to double click on your scriptable auto splitter. And you should see something like this. I find it best to just uncheck all of them. So I would uncheck every setting here. And then this is where you change your auto splitting depending on what run you're doing. But for any percent specifically, you're going to want to go to starting the game. So you're going to click on this, starting the game, and you're also going to select load removal. And then right to the left of this check marks, you're going to see a plus button, and you're going to select start on fresh 0% save load. What this does is it makes sure the timer starts when you start the game. Then right here, you're going to select remove loads, pause on title screen and profile select, and pause during room and door transitions. And this is just going to make the auto splitter pause during transitions, which is the load removing of the load removing timer, and a big reason why the times vary so much from real time. Now for any percent, if you're just going off the standard route, all you technically need is an ending, and I would select defeat formless as my ending here. So for any percent, defeating formless is the final goal. So I click defeat formless under endings. And then personally, I have, I think 13 splits. So you can select passive abilities, and then I typically do 9-bolt shot, which is the charge shot. And then after that, you would go and defeat Bonsai. So you can see there should be selections for every passive ability, every ability and item you get in a standard run, including the magma keys, and then every single boss in the game. So I personally like selecting when I beat some bosses and when I beat some items. So if you just want to copy my any percent exactly, then I select 9-bolt shot, wall jump, and then I go under abilities and items, make sure you have this checked. I click on dash. I also click on ground pound or the bonk boot, and then collect the magma keys. And then under defeating bosses, I have one for defeat Bonsai, defeat Kate Dragons, UFO, Dark Inferno, Tyrannolith, Wobbulex, and Blightwolves. So let me just count. It should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 13 splits right there, ignoring the first 4. And that looks about right. So once you've selected your splits, click OK. And then OK again. And now we can go into editing your splits. Right here, all you need to do is just insert a bunch of splits, depending on your run. And then right here, you can also go into the game name and type in Dewdrop Dynasty, and then type in run category, which for me is any percent. And if you're lucky, sometimes, maybe there'll be an Autosplitter in the future. If there is, then just activate that. But this is where you're going to put in your splits. And I won't show you doing that. I do have to go in a bit. I have some things to do. But you put in your splits here. And then you go into obviously timing. And I won't show you doing that, but I'll do it in a second. Alrighty, so I've just gone ahead and set up all my splits. So once you set them up, it should look something like this. And you can also go ahead and copy these splits. These are the same splits that I use for any percent, and these are also the same splits that should line up with the auto splitter. So here we go. And now the important thing, one thing to note, you're gonna have to down patch. And as of right now, this video will be updated in the future if things change, but currently for speedrunning, we run on patch 1.0.6. As of now, Dewdrop Dynasty is on patch 1.0.8, and that's also subject to change. Cookies is doing great work at Fearoth. You know, he's making updates, new patches, but it does mean that we're gonna have to down patch 1.0.6 because this timer is set up specifically for 1.0.6, and as of right now, it doesn't really work on the newer patches, and newer patches also have some other issues and different changes. So easiest thing we're going to do is we're just going to down patch to 1.0.6. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the easiest way to do that. It's just you're going to hit Windows and then R. This is a Windows tutorial. So it should have a prompt like this. And then you're going to go ahead and paste in this code, steam://open/console. This is pasted in the description. So if you want, you can scroll down to the description, copy that code, and just paste it in here. Then you're going to click enter or OK. And it should enter up the Steam console. So then what you're going to go ahead and do is you're going to go ahead and get the download depot. And this code is also in the description. And you're just going to paste this in. Afterwards, you're going to click enter, and it should automatically download the down patch. I'm not going to go ahead and do it here. I've already downloaded it, so I don't need the extra file. And once you have it, if you want to access that file, you're going to go ahead and go to open up your files. You're going to go to, it should be program files 86 or x86, wherever your Steam app is contained. Let me go ahead and try to access that real quick. Alrighty, so once you find your file, it should tell you in the console the exact path you need to get to your file. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to set up a 1.0.6 Steam page for Dewdrop, because if you click running Dewdrop on the official page, this is just going to play on most recent patch, and it's not going to actually play on the down patch. What you're going to do is you're going to go down here, you're going to click on add a Steam game, then add a non-Steam game, and it's going to give you the option to browse your files. I'm not going to do that, I've already done this, so I don't need to do it again. But you're going to click on browse your files, and then you're going to specifically go into your files, and you're going to follow the path that it says in the console to get to your down patch depot, and then you're just going to add the application. So it should be pretty obvious where to get there. If you need some help, feel free to add me on Discord and DM me there, or you can just leave a comment on this video. But once you do that, you should have it opened up, Dewdrop Dynasty 1.0.6, and I'm just going to go ahead and open up this game. And we're just going to do a little quick test on the LiveSplit timer. So I recommend making sure the timer's all reset. You can start it, you can stop it, make sure your keybinds are working. And as you can see right here, this says version 1.0.6. So if you're unsure if the version and the downpatch are working, just check the bottom left corner when you open up the game. It should say version 1.0.6. Now you're gonna go and open up your game. And if you click on new game here, click on standard mode. And I'm just gonna alt F4 real quick so that we can skip the cutscene. And then if I launch this up again, we should have an empty save slot, an empty save slot or save file for me to open up. And just to make sure the Autosplit is working, if you follow my steps, this should be working. You're gonna click on a new save, and you'll see I'm not gonna touch anything. The timer automatically starts upon entering the game. And we can do a little extra test entering this room. You should see over here that both timers are running, and when you enter the room, one of the timers is paused during the transition. So whatever timer is pausing during transitions, this is going to be your LRT, or the load remove timer, and the timer below this is going to be your RTA, or your real-time timer. And then of course you can click whatever keybind you have, you can reset your things, but this is designed for a save slot of 0.000%. So this does mean if you watch the cutscene, it might not work. There's a chance it might, but there's also a chance you lose 20 seconds of in-game time. So if you want to know how to skip a cutscene, it's really simple. All you gotta do is clear your save, upload a new save file, works on any difficulty, and you just want to wait until the first frame of the cutscene. So about here, once you can see stuff, and then you literally just alt F4 the game, reopen it, and then you should have your empty save file ready for you to run the game. So this should be all of the basic setup required to get Dewdrop Dynasty working, the LiveSplit timer, and the downpatch. If you have any questions, of course, you can add me on Discord. I'm frequently active in the Dewdrop Dynasty Discord server, and you can also just leave a comment on this video. So, hope this is under 10 minutes. Yeah, that should be about it. Yeah, just ask anything, and thanks for watching.